It's good, YouTube. You know who it is. It's your boy Neon Diamond 11 back again, and we are talking about 13 Reasons Why versus Degrassi. Now I know what you're thinking. These are two very, very different shows. Now I want to talk about this because for the longest I've always kind of wanted an American Degrassi. Now I know there have been shows like Gossip Girl and One Tree Hill and 90210 and other shows that maybe you could say, but I feel like there hasn't been a show like Degrassi in an American version as 13 Reasons Why, and obviously 13 Reasons Why, I'm pretty sure is considered an American show. So here is like what I want to talk about is obviously Degrassi is very unique, and it's a name that like 100 years from now, 200 years from now, everyone will know what Degrassi is because first of all, it's a unique name. Second of all, it's kind of like something that people have grown up with, whether it was Degrassi High or whatever. And apologies for the weird sounding. I'm using a different mic, and So, anyways, so I want to see what you guys are thinking. If you guys watch 13 Reasons Why, what you guys think about Degrassi. And I think the thing is, people don't realize is obviously, well, okay, let's break them down first really quickly. Degrassi, when you look at Degrassi, there isn't really a main character like 13 Reasons Why where we focus on Hannah. And spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it or you want to watch it, probably shouldn't watch this video. Anyways, that's a given. But 13 Reasons Why is focused on Hannah's story. And obviously Clay Jensen being alive, he's kind of like the focal point. And obviously there are other main characters, but Clay and Hannah are the focal point, at least in season 1. Season 2, things are still scattered, but I guess you could still say Clay is still like the main character, although I feel like it's more spread out, kind of. I don't know, it's kind of weird because anyways, and Degrassi, there's not like a centralized character, I guess you could say. Like Degrassi was following, I'm not sure, I didn't watch Degrassi High or the one before Next Generation, but I think it was focused on Spike having a baby, I think, or maybe not, I don't know. And Joey was like a main character too, and but I'm not certain about that. But anyways, so Next Generation, obviously, Emma's one of the main characters, or the main characters, but like she's not like the focal point of Degrassi. So like I enjoy the storytelling aspects of Degrassi because it's like there are main characters, and like you can spot out main characters like your Eli's and Claire's, and people who fell off like Casey's and Jenna's and Dave's and Wesley and other characters who on for acting purposes they were considered main characters because they get paid differently than recurring or whatever. We're not gonna get into that, but as like a main character, like characters like you actually empathize with, like Jimmy and stuff like that. So it's funny because there's so much controversy going on about 13 Reasons Why. Obviously, season 1, very graphic. Obviously, they showed the suicide. Season 2, I was actually very surprised that Tyler didn't. Again, spoiler alert, if you have not watched any of them or you're kind of curious, you probably shouldn't listen. But I actually was surprised that Tyler didn't go out with the shooting. Not like the whole like the school part, because I thought that was like kind of like awkward. I was like, wait, why are you like going through this? You should go after Monty and the other dudes. Like, I mean, I know that's bad, like, but like, why are you going after random people? And I guess they led up to it because Cyrus not wanting to be friends and his sister was with someone else. Like, I feel like if after what happened to Monty in the bathroom, like if he could have reached out to like Cyrus or something, he probably wouldn't have. Not like it's an excuse, but obviously to lead up, like Tyler really wanted to show people he had the power. And I think, as we're coming back from, and I genuinely thought like he changed. Like I know there's like a slight second where I thought, oh, this dude's just playing games. He just wanted to get back to school and he's gonna get revenge. But he actually, for the most part, it seemed like he actually changed and wanted to be better. And even in the bathroom where he like apologized to Monty, and like obviously it was probably like something he was supposed to say, like, hey, I apologize. I wanted to be a better person. I hope I can make it right, or something like that. And obviously Monty was having none of it. And just like the way he slammed his head into the mirror and the sink, I'm like, if that's not bad enough, and obviously, we know what happens. Don't need to get into that. But I'm curious what you guys think about the controversies, because I'm like, Degrassi has had school shooting before, and I don't remember anyone freaking out over Hunter going in, literally in the school. Like Tyler had a gun outside of school. Like literally, Hunter Hollingsworth had a gun, and it's I don't know. It's weird to think about because like Hunter, he matured after that, but it's like it's weird to say like Hunter actually brought a gun to school, and I remember like watching it like wow, like how is he gonna come back from this? But then it's like he kind of redeemed himself after that. But it's kind of weird to think about like he actually had a gun in his book bag, and we're all at the end we're thinking, oh, did he really have a gun? Did he really have a gun? And he had the gun, and I think when he talks to Miles or something, I forgot at the end where he's like, "Were you gonna hurt someone?" Or Hunter's like, "I don't know," and it really like shows like the connection with like the loners. And I know it's kind of like a theme where people say, "Oh yeah, mental illness, that," but in a lot of these common themes, kind of like Rick shooting Jimmy, like that is like literally a top 5 iconic moment in Degrassi history, where we actually see Jimmy get shot, and Rick going through all this stuff, and obviously what he did to Terry, abusing her, was not cool, but he was obviously ostracized by everyone. Even Paige saved herself by apologizing because it looked like he was about to like light her up right there in the fucking cafeteria. I'm like, fucking hell, but she apologized, and he still felt some emotion like, hey, I'm not gonna shoot this girl. So with that being said, I'm kind of curious like what you guys think about the controversy. Is it because we're in a different time? Because obviously when I was growing up, school shootings weren't really that common, and so I kind of want to know what you guys think about that. Is it because we're in 2018? And I know I've said like SJW in the past. What I mean by SJW is extreme SJW. Like people won't say like, oh yeah, he's a Christian, or yeah, he's this or he's that. Like any SJW, social justice warrior, is not a bad thing, but it's been turned into a bad thing. Kind of like feminism, where it's like, oh yeah, she's a feminist. No, extreme feminism is bad, and the anti-men, I hate men, that kind of thing. And I think that's what pissed me off in Next Class. Was it season 2 or 1 or something, where Maya was like recruited to be this I don't know, I forgot what she was supposed to do, but pretty much they wanted to like change the boys' bathrooms because obviously girls, I think they had like equal numbers, but they wanted the girls to have one of the guys because it takes guys a shorter time to use the bathroom than girls, and girls were late to class and their grades are being affected, and I'm not even gonna get into that. But is it because we're in 2018 and Degrassi was like a different time? And I know Degrassi Next Class is still there, and that's another thing I want to talk about, is because a lot of my past videos, people have said that Degrassi Next Class is weak. And despite what happened with Maya, and obviously what happened with the Tristan, the bus crash, and all that stuff, and obviously what I said with Hunter, it does feel kind of weak. Like everything feels like a SJW, and obviously you know what I mean, like extreme SJW like agenda, and kind of like with the whole the Muslims, and it's kind of like the cookie cutter like issues. Like Degrassi kind of talked about different issues, and they weren't all like level 5. They were like level 4, level 3, level 2. Like some people like had like minor issues, and it wasn't all about the shock value. I feel like Degrassi Next Class, and not all of the storylines, because there are some storylines that I actually felt were good, kind of like Yale's storyline, and obviously that kind of comes into with what's happening 2017, 2018, the past 5-10 years, where like people are using like female and male, and still to this day I'm still like learning about that. I know people are like frustrated, like, oh yeah, you're either male, female, like people, the non-cisgender and all that stuff, like people who don't want to be identified by male, female. I get it, and I'm still like trying to learn about it, and I think that was like one of the best storylines. I know it wasn't like visually like shock value, like maybe like with what happened with kind of like Maya, where she was depressed after the whole her depression, but in the suicide attempt. But Yale's storyline was just as powerful, and so I kind of want to turn into not like a debate, but why do you guys think like 13 Reasons Why is getting so much hate? And like I said before, I kind of think it's because of what's happening in the recent times. Um, and I know people say Degrassi goes there, Degrassi goes there. Yes, Degrassi goes there. 13 Reasons Why, I don't really see that much of parallel. Obviously, they have portrayed rape, drugs, alcohol, and so much more, and also suicide. But I think the thing about 13 Reasons Why is that people are saying that Hannah's suicide was glorified and made people like want to kill themselves or whatever. But I'm like, it's a TV show. Like they're supposed to. Obviously, when you're writing a screenplay, it's just words, but on the screen, they want to show an impact, and so they made an impact. With Hannah actually cutting herself and showing all of it. Like, I didn't expect that. It didn't mess me up like I thought it would, but it was like, wow. And for some reason, like, I know people say she's blaming, but it's a fictional story. Like, obviously, 13 Reasons Why, it's very intriguing. Like, these 13 people or whatever are the reasons why I died. And I know, like, people say, well, she's victim blaming. But when you're depressed and when you're alone, like, I don't really think people understand, like, from the outside in, they're like, oh, she's blamed. But I think she really wanted, like, one person. And I know in season 2, she had the reasons not list. And, her mom was saying there's more reasons why she shouldn't have. But just, like, all the factors that played into it. And I think, it's kind of underrated how we how we focus. Sorry, not underrated, but it's interesting how we focus a lot on the kids. But at the end of the day, I guess you could say that Mr. Porter, the counselor, kind of was like the catalyst. Like, he was there and he could have stopped her. And obviously, he didn't know she was actually going to do it. Like, kids talk about this and that, but I mean, I guess you could assume, like, if he had stopped her, she wouldn't have done it that day, but you don't know, like, the next day or whatever. Like, Hannah did have help, and she didn't really, there was help, but no one really wanted to, like, reach out because no one knew what she was going through. And it's easy to say, well, if I knew back then, but it's like, that's why I think there's, like, so many, like, high schools and, like, colleges are always, like, saying, if you want to talk, call this hotline. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm always like, well, why would I talk to a stranger about this stuff? Like, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm there for you, man. I'm there for you. Like, that's some of the biggest BS, like, from a friend standpoint. Like, oh, yeah, if you ever need something, I'm here for you. Like, nobody wants to do that. Like, no one wants to be, like, a burden. Like, oh, hey, man, don't lie. Like, it's always nice to, like, hear from, like, someone, like, whether it's, like, a random person, like, you used to be friends with, or someone, hey, how's it going, man? You doing good? Like, you want to, like, hang out and, like, grab food or whatever? Like, not like someone who just, like, check in, like, hey, what's up? Or, like, it's like someone who actually cares. And I think that parallels with both, like, with Cam's suicide as well, is that for me personally, and I guess I was naive back then, I know he, like, jumped off the thing at school and, like, broke his arm, so he got injured for hockey. But I was completely surprised, and I think the reason why Cam didn't hit me as hard as maybe other people, because not that because they didn't show it, but I just didn't see it coming. And I don't know why. I just thought it was, I mean, seeing it coming, obviously that kind of plays into it, but obviously with Maya, we knew something was coming. And it was kind of creepy because, she had the sleepover with her mom and her sister, and I'm like, wow, okay, Maya's actually going to change her mind. But nope, she just wanted this last moment with her family, and that, so that build up. And also because we've known Maya a lot longer than Cam, but I just didn't feel that connection with Cam. So, like, when Cam died, I was like, that sucks, but I didn't really feel as much. Maybe, obviously, it's just my opinion, and I do like Cam as a character. And also kind of, with other deaths, kind of like texting and driving with, what's his face, Adam. I felt like that was kind of a quote-unquote SJW, or, because we had a thing with Dave, and it was just kind of like, blah. But Degrassi has done portrayed has done portrayed I can't speak has portrayed a lot of great powerful storylines. Um, One that comes to mind is also Darcy's storyline, where she's kind of like, and I think a lot of people don't really. I know people hate Christianity or hate religion in general, but I think kind of I emphasize the cannot talk. Sorry, with Darcy, because obviously I grew up in a Christian household with things being strict and you have to be good person and blah blah. But we see Darcy being a rebel, especially after once she meets Peter, she kind of like gets into that world where she doesn't want to be a good girl, and obviously she kind of had that with Spinner as well. That was kind of like the prelude, and then after she got raped, it was kind of like because Christianity, it's like save yourself for marriage, and even I was at a point where I was like, I'm gonna save myself for the perfect woman, and then I came to a point where I thought I had the perfect girl in high school, and it wasn't, and then I was like, well, I guess guess I gotta explore other ventures. Yeah, we're not gonna go into my personal life, but yeah, so. And also with kind of like Emma's eating disorder, where it's like a build up and a build up, and so, but 13 Reasons Why kind of like hits you with some punches where they actually things kind of happen, and you kind of like have to backtrack. Obviously, with it's sad because obviously in the first episode we know Hannah's dead, but we see like everything going on with her, and so it's kind of like different because we already know she's dead. But we kind of see like how it happens and what happens, and obviously with the status of high schoolers, Bryce is like untouchable, and how he didn't die or anything in season 2 is beyond me. Like I was like, he's going to get it. Like they obviously season 1 he did his thing with Jessica and Hannah and other girls, but I'm like, he is gonna bite it, and I'm like, wow, so he didn't. And obviously the progression from season 1 to season 2 with Justin. Like, Justin was, like, the man. Like, before we even knew who Bryce was, Justin was the man, handsome dude, cute smile. And then, obviously, what happened with Hannah was sucky. And, obviously, he didn't really want the picture to go out there. But, he's like, hey, give it back, man. And, Bryce and all of them were just, like, being, frat bros or whatever. And so that kind of, like, spiraled. But season 2, I really enjoyed seeing Justin, like, homeless and going to see his mom, and like she's like, he's gonna kill me, and I actually was surprised that he left, because I'm like, damn, like he's really been broken. Like he's obviously had this yo-yo where he always comes back to his mom, a new boyfriend, abusive, and to the part where he had nothing but drugs, and even till the end of the season where I was surprised he hooked up with Jessica, but besides that, where he's still shooting up, and I'm like, wow, like it just goes to show, like, things can go well. And obviously they took down Bryce temporarily, but jail probably put Justin back into his sunken place. And obviously it's nice to see Clay's family adopt him and all. But I just want to know what you guys think about 13 Reasons Why, kind of like the comparison with Degrassi. And I honestly do believe it's because of the recent stuff that's happened in the last 5-10 years. And if, let's say, Degrassi Next Generation had premiered like 5 years ago, would it be as powerful or more controversial, let's say? Or let's say this, would the writers have the balls to do like the Jimmy shooting, or the Darcy rape, or the other storylines, or even JT getting killed? Like, not everything has to do with like, oh, this person was depressed. Like JT getting killed, that was just a bad situation that he found himself in, and that goes to show, like, in life where, like, it's not always about progression. Like, oh yeah, Darcy gets raped and she does this. Like JT was actually in a good place, and then he just gets killed by some drunk kid. I think he was drunk, a Lakers kid. And so we have all these characters, and obviously Drew, with his concussion, and obviously the Katie, I think the soccer player, Katie Matlin. Yeah, I was like, Katie, I forgot her name. Yeah, sorry about that. My mic randomly cut out. So, yeah, I'm going way too over anyway. It's almost like 20 minutes. So yeah, I just want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of parallels between the shows. I feel like both are great shows. I don't really think there's like a which one is better, honestly, because Degrassi's been on way longer, and obviously, I guess you can compare like Next Class versus 13 Reasons Why. Um, Even though like 13 Reasons Why has like more episodes and like the episodes are like longer. Not more episodes, but like the episodes like longer than Next Class. You know what I meant? But like versus like TNG, and I think like TNG is like a really like strong staple. And I still say this: I always want to go back and like watch the other ones, but I'm always like hesitant because I'm like I'm not sure if I like this. But I figured I'd give like Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High and the other, I think there's like another one, I'm not sure, a shot. But like, I want to know again. I keep repeating myself, but like, what do you guys think about the controversies? Are they like? Do you agree like shows like 13 Reasons Why like glorify suicide and drugs and all that stuff and are too graphic? And also, I think um it's worth noting that kids these days like have Netflix, they have YouTube. Like growing up, like we just had. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like it was just mainly television. That was it. Like obviously there's like Game Boys and stuff. Like television was like the main like media, and obviously Degrassi had a responsibility to kind of portray, and kind of like was one of those first shows to actually go there. And so I feel like there's a lot of respect for Degrassi, despite the controversies. Like it's funny, people talk about the Rick shooting and obviously the other controversies and highlight, but there are the reasons why. Oh my gosh, it's too graphic. Oh my gosh, we gotta tell our kids they can't watch this. And I'm just like, obviously, maybe I can't understand this next generation because I'm not a teenager. I'm not an adolescent anymore. I'm in my 20s. Those days are long gone, and I still enjoy like the adolescent shows, the Harry Potters, the Shadowhunters, the movies and such, whatnot, the 100. But like when shows really just talk about like they just put a whole bunch of kids from different backgrounds, different races in high school, I just find that very interesting because I don't know why. Like even like like that RJ Burger show on MTV or like Sweet Vicious, like I know that was college, but I just find shows that are set in like high school, college very interesting. I don't know, like school is like a big part of my life, not just like the education side, but like the friends that I met, like the experiences, the good and bad. So I think that's why those shows like draw. Even like Greek is like classic, even though it's like more like comedy and like lighthearted, but still like I just enjoy shows like that. And Blue Mountain State it's hilarious. But like, why you kind of think like when these shows kind of go there, at least these days, and I guess 13 Reasons Why is the only show I can think of as of late where it's getting a lot of heat. And I think it's because there's a lot of attention on the media, regarding what our kids are doing, and Grand Theft Auto is bad for you and blah blah blah. So I'm just kind of curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if this mic sounded weird because I kind of like putting it close to me but not really sure what to do because I don't have my stand with me and I just feel like being lazy. Anyways, thank you all for watching. It's been your boy Neon Diamond 101. Peace.